All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Crusty Crystals. I'm Thomas Dale. We are here at Florid Media Studios in Rockville Center. Thank you for being here. Thanks for coming back. So excited about the journey. So where are we? What's up? Today's episode, we're going to be talking about being a human, literally being a human, like what's going on in this body, in this mind, in this soul. And what a great time to talk about being a human, because this weekend I just celebrated my birthday. For whenever this airs, I'm a Taurus. In case it airs over like by Gemini area, I'm definitely not a Gemini. I love Geminis, but I'm not a Gemini. I am a Taurus, very proudly. You know, every Taurus you meet will be very proud about their Taurian ways. My moon is in Pisces and my rising is Aquarius. So that's where I get all my special powers and my eclecticness. That's the rising Aquarius, definitely the moon in Pisces. The moon in Pisces, for any of you who have a moon in Pisces, you know how heavy that is and how real that sucker is. So, but I've been learning more. My Aquarius rising, that's where the magic, I think, is coming from. That's where the being able to see the future and advance, like advanced thinking and that kind of stuff. I think that's where it's really coming from. I always underestimated my Aquarius rising. But anyway, let's get to it. So the mind-body-soul connection. That is going to be our main topic today. And I'll get into it more, but first, we're going to do our shiny crystal of the week. This week's shiny crystal, what better people to choose for my shiny crystals? My parents, because they gave me this body and this life. And my mother, on your birthday, this is why it's so important to celebrate yourself. People just say, some people are like, oh, it's my birthday, I don't care, I'm not going to celebrate it. It's 1 year closer to death. And yes, all that is true. It is 1 year closer to death, but you're living. It's the day that it is your special day. It is the day you chose to come use the portal and come onto Earth. And by portal, that's your mother, the being, the supreme being that literally carried your fleshy body and put it onto the earth. That's a portal, when your spirit jumped into the body using the portal of mother. So she's got to be a shiny crystal. And my father, who has always supported me and been there for my endeavors and would believe in me as well. Shiny crystal. So your parents, they gave you birth. They gave you life. They literally created you. And I feel like this. It's so important to honor your parents because they're just humans. They're just these people that decided to have kids. Some parents shouldn't have had kids, okay, but they still did. And they tried their best. And then there's parents who were meant to be parents and born to be parents and just, and then there's the in-between. And you have to remember that they're just humans. They're just people who are trying their best. They have their own childhood trauma. They have their own, day-to-day. They have their own mental health. They have their own spirit. They have their own experiences. And then they had kids, and I don't have children. I have my dog. So I can't speak on what it's like to have children. I have my nephews and nieces that I cherish, and I try to be a great example to. But it's hard. It's got to be hard. You're only doing your best in the moment. And hindsight's a bitch. I'm sure every parent, when they're older, they look back at their children and they think to themselves, I could have done this better. I could have done this right. I should have done that. But we all do that. We all look back at our life for everything, for not just children, for anything we do. And we say, oh, I could have done this. I should have done that. And I think that the main thing that's important for us to always remember, especially parents, it's okay that mistakes were made. It's okay that balls were dropped. It's okay that in the moment you didn't catch the thing you needed to catch. And I think the most important thing is that as adults, acknowledge it. Don't suppress it. It's okay to talk about it. It's okay because that's how you move forward. That's how you heal from any kind of generational trauma, childhood trauma. It's about communicating. It's about being open and admitting, oh, this is why I was like this, or this is why I did this, or because then everyone can let it go. The only way to heal from your trauma or childhood stuff is to let it go. But the only way to let it go is to put light on it and to talk about it. So I believe that we should have these conversations with our parents, but I think as parents, you should also have the conversations with your grown kids as adults. We spend so much time trying to make the first 10 years of someone's life so happy and so fun. But think about this. we are adults longer in life than we are kids. So I think as parents, set up your kids for the adult life. Like set up your kids that life isn't always fun. Life isn't always fair. Set that up. Don't rob them of their happiness in their childhood. They should, you should always be playing imagination and having fun and being silly and having experiences. But I think it's important too to set them up for adulthood so that they can learn how to cope, or they can learn how to make decisions and choices, and they can learn how to problem solve. That's so important, I think. I think that is so needed for the first 10 years of a kid's life. The fun should definitely be there, but it shouldn't all be just fun. There should be, for parents, not, listen, as an uncle, when I'm with the kids, it's fun. I'm not here to but as parents, I'm not here to teach you. The parents, you got to give them life lessons. So I think that's important. But I think as grown adults, like when you're a kid and you grow up, I think it's important to give your parents grace, forgive them for anything that, might have been dropped, not you as dropped as a kid. If you were dropped, my parents always make that joke. They're always like, who dropped you? I'm like, I'm insulted. You didn't drop me. I just think it's important to, forgive your parents and, love them, because by God, they love you as they love you. Even the people I speak to who feel that they have, I always say, listen, as long as you're not being physically or sexually abused, there's room for growth. If you're being physically or sexually abused, you got to go. That's hardcore. And I'm not a therapist, so I don't know how to work with you for that. But I get it. That, people you want to do no contact, that's deep stuff. But, regular, just trauma or stuff that you're dealing with, or things that might have happened with you, with your parents, just normal. Because listen, every human being is definitely, messed up in some way from their childhood. Every single human, not one. No matter how great your parents were, no matter how amazing they were, there is always going to be something for every human that came from their parents. It's just part of it. You can never be a perfect parent. But I think as the adult humans, the kids of, when you have to give your parents grace, because you're a parent or going to be a parent, and you're going to make those same mistakes or different mistakes. I know even with my dog, there were times when he was a puppy that I look back and I'm like, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have yelled at him for that. Or but I think I raised a great dog. I think I raised him to be very just a good boy, Anyway, so let's get into our celebrity big three. Okay. This week's celebrity big three is, who do we have up? Lindsay Lohan. I love Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan is a fellow Long Islander. I knew her mother, Dina Lohan. She's great. She's so cool. So very, very fabulous and fierce and just very Long Island. But Lindsay Lohan is a Sun Cancer, Moon Taurus, and her rising is Gemini. So that's what I'm going to do. Each week I'll do the moon sign. Like last week we did Moon in Aries. This week we do Moon in Taurus. But then I'll do the big three for that one celebrity. And that's Lindsay. That's why she just has that that loving nature. She just has that very you could just tell she's she makes a home nice. You know what I'm saying? I feel like she makes a home really nice. So that's that sun sign Cancer and Moon Taurus. Cancer Taurus is if you could have parents that are Cancer and Taurus, you probably have a really comfortable, nice home. Hopefully because if they're a Cancer and Taurus and they're off the rocker, then they could be a little rough. But if they're well-adjusted Cancer Taurus, then you definitely have a nice, secure home, lots of love, lots of hominess, lots of movie nights, I'm sure, lots of treats, that's for sure. But yeah, I could see her being a very warm mother, with that Cancer and Moon in Taurus. She's probably so stubborn, but her rising in Gemini actually probably saves her from her stubbornness. Having that rising in Gemini definitely gives her more of that free nature. And that's funny because your rising is kind of your purpose in this life. And her rising is Gemini, and then she has the Cancer and Taurus Sun Moon. That's such a two extremes. So I think her purpose in this life is to learn how to not be so rigid, maybe not so stubborn or stuck in her little mold. That rising in Gemini is asking her to break out of that mold, be free. So I bet you if we ever spoke to Lindsay, she would say that she she sees that struggle of like being free from herself. Oh, well, yeah, actually, we do know a little bit about her life. When she went through she was a child actress, and then she had the drug stuff, and she probably used the drugs to like cope with like her deep feelings and her depth, and she probably had a little social anxiety. The rising in Gemini helps with the social anxiety, but I bet you she had some social anxiety, and that's why. Because Cancer Taurus, Tauruses are social people, but Cancer Taurus, sometimes when you put that together, they just want to be under their comfort at home in front of like a fireplace. But that rising in Gemini, that gave her spunk, that's for sure. That red hair came from her rising in Gemini. That's a rising Gemini hair color. And then other moon Tauruses, we have Robert Downey Jr. I can so see that with his eyes. He's got those deep bull eyes. Tauruses, we have like deep like bull eyes, like the bullseye. Chris Pratt, he's another moon in Taurus. Christian Bale. Yeah, these are all very like just handsome, earthy kind of men. Demi Moore. She's so moon in Taurus. She has that like earthy face, that grounded. I could see like her bone structure just feels very strong. That's an earthy energy. Ooh, and then Nick Jonas. Woo! Love me a Nick Jonas. I mean, that boy with that hair. Oh my God, I can't even take it. And of course, his sun is in Virgo, his moon is in Taurus, and his rising is Leo. What a stud. Are you kidding me? No wonder why with that Leo rising. And the moon, so he's got the Virgo and then the moon double Earth, which makes him, that's that depth. That's where he gets that depth from. And then that rising Leo, like, I'm a lion, like, come and get me. Anytime, Nick Jonas, seriously. Although I have been getting more into that other brother. I forgot what his name is. So there's Nick Jonas, Joe Jonas, and then another Jonas. He's a Leo, he's all over TikTok. He's wearing the pants and you could see the brajol. Like he's like, I think he's a Leo. I think that's Joe Jonas with the curls. I've been getting into that one. His little star is rising. I got to be honest with that Leo. He's a sun sign Leo. He's vivacious, that one. He knows what he's doing with those pants too. I'll tell you. So yeah, Lindsay Lohan, girl. Keep rocking that glow up. Oh my God. That new vibe she's got, the nose job and the skin and the hair. That makes sense because she's a mother now. So she's got that mother glow. See, sun sign Cancer women, that's that mother nature, that the Cancer and then the Taurus moon, that's that mother earth. I always say Tauruses, we're like mother earth. She's got that, yeah, I'm telling you, Taurus, Cancer, that's that mother mix. Lindsay Lohan has that mother mix. Mothering looks good on her. Good job, Lindsay, bringing another human onto the earth. All right, so let's get into our main topic, being a human, mind, body, soul. Let me take a little water here for this because I got a whole lot to say about that. So being a human is a difficult situation. There's a lot happening as a human. That's why like when I talk about astrology, it's, I know how real astrology is and how important it is and how it really does affect us. But there's so many things that, people will always be like, well, how come not every Taurus is the same? Or how come not every Cancer is the same? They're always trying to like, the fun takers, I call it, skeptics or fun takers. This is why not every Taurus is the same, okay? Or anyone born in the same exact spot is the same. I explained it briefly in another episode about your environment and all that, but you have mind, body, and soul. That is what makes up a human. It's also one of our purposes on this path is to keep those three things aligned. Your mind, body, and soul. If you can keep that aligned, doesn't mean bad things can't happen, but you are like killing it. You are in the flow. You're feeling good. You're definitely not eating sugar like I was all weekend, that's for sure. But when you are mind, body, and soul aligned, you got all your chakras in a row, like everything's shining bright, everything's clean, everything's cleansed. It's like after the apartment is cleaned and everything is just, smells nice and everything's in its space and there's no dust or dog hair. It's just everything is aligned, right? Everything gets messy eventually because that's life. You're not always aligned, but the purpose of it is to try to get aligned, try to stay aligned as long as you can. And then you got to, then eventually it gets a little dirty. Then you got to clean it up again. That's the purpose. Nobody's ever aligned constantly. That's God is the only one that's aligned constantly. The universe, and even the universe gets out of alignment. But like the creator, the white light, the thing that made us, whatever you call it, God or whatever you want to identify it as, that's aligned. That is pure alignment. That's why when you pass away, they say you go back to that light, and it is just, it is so beautiful and peaceful and just heavenly. Like, it's the most calm feeling that apparently you'll ever feel. And it's funny, when I'm talking to spirits, 95% of the time I feel that calm from them. They're laughing at us. They're like, every now and then you'll get a spirit that I can feel like a darkness from. It doesn't mean they are dark or their soul is dark or they're even in a dark place. It means that their energy is just not aligned right at that moment. Like there's something that they may have had to go through or something they're going through in transition. Maybe there's something on earth that needs to be settled with a living soul, a living human. But it's rare to feel that darkness. Even people who have suicide, you don't feel, it's not like that they're just automatically in a dark place, even though from what I've read and learned about like suicide, you don't want to do that because you don't go to like the regular place. You don't go to like a hell or a limbo or like a torture chamber, but you go to like a place where you have to like look at all the things. You don't want to do that. So for many reasons, you don't want to do that. But anyway, okay. So yeah, so the mind, body, and soul. Yeah, so you have to have that stuff aligned. So your body is just your genetics. Your body is like your genetics, your makeup, your nervous system, endocrine system, skin, bones, flesh, all that stuff. That's literally your body. That comes from your chromosomes. I'm not a science teacher, so we won't get into it. But the sperm and the eggs, kids. Whatever happens in that, that's how you're born. That's how your body is created. But they do also say too that like your soul, which is the energy, it is an infinite energy. It is just it's a light that jumps into your body that creates consciousness. I personally believe, again, not a doctor or scientist, I believe that when the body comes out of the portal, out of your mother, that the soul, the energy, activates the body, or like consciousness. Like I think the body comes out, and it that's why they gotta like slap the baby, get the baby crying, like get it going, because I feel like it's just like a fleshy body, genetically built thing, and then the spirit jumps into the body, and now it's like really, not saying it's not alive in the womb. When I get into that, it's not what we're here for, but I'm just saying that like when it comes out, the soul enters it. Could be wrong. The soul could be in the body, in the womb. I'm not in the womb. And I haven't ever like had any connection where I felt that, but I think it activates the body. And then your mind. So that's the soul. Soul is endless, infinite energy, does not die. Energy cannot be destroyed. It goes on either back into the universe, reincarnated back on earth, or a soul can hang around the family, help out living humans. So they can do one of those three things. That's the things I've learned doing readings and like connecting to spirit every day. So then your mind is something that I'm still on a journey trying to figure out. Your mind, I believe, it's like accumulation of your environment. It's an accumulation of, I think your mind is actually an accumulation of like your body and soul mixed. So I think that where your placements are in your zodiac creates your mind. The mind, I think, is, they in science or psychology, they say it's like it's your consciousness. I believe your soul is your consciousness. I think that, but it's got to have part to do with your brain. I'm sure there's a lot of activity and things that are going on in your brain that create your mind. So I think your mind, for me, is just a word that explains brain and soul together, like body and soul. That's what I think your mind is. I think your mind is more of just your experiences. It's like your projector, like what's going on in there, your thoughts. I often think about that. Like when I'm thinking to myself, I think, and you heard that thing where there are people who don't have an inner monologue? That's wild to me. Like, because I hear my voice all day long. I hear and feel other things too. Not necessarily, only when I'm in readings, when I'm in a meditative state and I'm connecting and I'm like consciously connecting to spirit to deliver messages for the people I'm reading, then that's when it's like a third party type of thing. That's when like those thoughts and the pictures and the images that I'm getting from spirit are not my own. But when I'm not in that state, I'm good at closing it off and being done. I have friends that are mediums and psychics who like, they'll say, oh, when I'm sleeping, it's just coming to me and this and that. Girl, my spirits know, don't be, when I'm a Taurus, I need to sleep. I can't have you knocking at my door and like giving me messages while I'm trying to sleep and keeping me up all night. Like I got melatonin going. So I got to take a little gummies sometimes. Like there's a lot happening here. So I got to sedate. I got to like put it to rest. So I can't be having, it could be why I've always been a, what's the word? When you have like, not narcolepsy, when you can't sleep and you're up all night, that word. Anyway, that, like when you're, what is that word? I'm like at a loss for it. Jay, what's that word? Insomnia. Thank you. Yes. Jay is my producer here. Insomniac. I've been an insomniac since I was a little kid. I just thought that's because there was a TV in the room. No, I have a feeling now that I think about it. I actually just thought of it right here. I think it's because the spirits have been talking to me while I'm trying to sleep. I always thought that was just my own mind, but maybe they are. But it is a different feeling when I'm doing readings rather than when I'm just living my life. It is very different. Like I can feel when it's a third party. So it is different than when it's just my mind racing. But yeah, the mind is something I'm still kind of investigating and I'm still trying to figure out. The mind is definitely it's a tricky thing. And even science doesn't really understand the mind. Body, they understand. Soul, I understand. But the mind it's a tricky little sucker. But sugar is, it's not good. Sugar is so bad for us. And we're going to go on this journey together because I'm going to say here today on episode 3, moving forward, I'm going to try to work on my sugar intake. I have to work on my sugar intake. I don't think my liver can take it. Like I've got to. So maybe I'll post about it on the Crusty Crystals podcast Instagram. But I think like I have to get on this journey. I can't. I'm in my 40s now. There's no room to be eating cakes and get the hell out of here. No. And I know that when I'm not eating sugar, like when I have on days of readings, I don't eat any sugar during the day, nothing. I stay away from any crap because it really does affect my clarity, It definitely does. It definitely affects my clarity. When I'm not eating sugar, I'm glowing. But yeah, so I got to fix my diet. That's definitely, and now that I'm in my 40s, oh my God, it really does hit you like a ton of bricks. Everything, your body changes. You feel it. Like I used to be able to eat like this. It was like no big deal. But your body, and I asked Charlie in my chat, what are the things that happen at your bone density? You lose muscle. Your hormones are all out of whack. Like what the fuck? Like, are you kidding me? So that's hardcore. Like I even said too, like I've seen, you look at your parents, you look at your grandparents, you look at people who get older, and I'm thinking to myself, like, it's like when my dog was like a little puppy and I crate trained him in the beginning. So I would wake up and I would let him out of the crate and he like grew overnight. I was like, dude, did that hurt? Like, it looks like it hurt. So I look at that too. Like when you're old, like you look at pictures of yourself. I mean, even now, like when I was in my 20s, I mean, that's when you're a kid. Like when you're in your 20s, you're a pup. This 30s, 40s things, you're not a kid anymore. You're a full-grown person. Like in your 20s, you're still like a little pup. It's fun. You can really get away with anything. You don't give a shit about stuff. Like I miss that carefree me in my 20s. Like I didn't care. I was just doing my thing. Who cares? Me. But in my 30s and 40s, you become way more conscious. More aware. You realize how important things are. You don't want to disappoint people. You don't want to hurt anyone. You really like, and especially when you awaken. Awakening is not for the weak, because when you awaken, all like any kind of like disgraziad behavior, that's Italian. Disgraziad means, like you're not like making the best choice. If you're eating a lot of crap, like anything, yeah, you're just like, when you awaken and you enlighten, you start to become a little more righteous in a sense. You really are, if I see litter on the floor, I have to pick it up now and throw it away. The old me used to just walk right by it. Now enlighten me, I have to touch garbage, and I'm a germaphobe. I have to pick it up because I can't just leave it there. Like I can't just see it. And it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm trying to be a good person. No, I'm enlightened. I'm awakened. I can't let it sit there because I know how important the earth is. So, like those are little examples. Or like, even like sexually, like it's hard. Like I don't want to like even hook up with anyone because I'm like, The ghosts are watching, like I just feel like, I don't know. It feels bad to be dirty, like when you're awakened. You don't want to be like a bad boy or, and when you're doing sexual stuff, sometimes you could be like, you get funky with that. Not me. I'm not like a kinky person. It's not really, I've never been like a fetish person or a kink person. I like it regular. Anyway. But yeah, so that's, when you awaken, it's not easy. You'll often hear people who have awakened. You'll hear them say sometimes, I wish I never awakened. Like, I wish I can go back to sleep or be, most people are in their survival mode. They're just like living their day. They're not like dealing with their trauma. They're not dealing with their truth. They're not dealing with anything really like that can take them off from, the ignorance is bliss thing. It truly is. Ignorance truly is bliss. When you awaken, you're no longer ignorant. You see the bigger picture. And when you see the bigger picture, it's hard for you to do like the little picture stuff, Like if you're sitting there eating a hot dog and all of a sudden you're like, this is so bad for my body. My body was given to me by God. My body's a temple. How can I destroy my body like that? And then you feel really bad, It's just, it's not good. I haven't, We'll get there, that's why you see these monks who are just like, celibate, in peace, like being their quietness, their peace, their this, the celibacy. That makes sense. Now, when I was talking about the sexual stuff, that makes sense why these very religious people are like celibate. I think it's because the closer you get to like, even though sexuality is a very natural thing, I think like the closer you get to like God or the universe or your creator, like that kind of thing just feels very earthly, unless you're having sex to make a baby. That's different because you're procreating and all that. But other than that, you just feel very like, oh, I'm doing this for pleasure. I don't know. It's like, that's one of the things I struggle with too about awakening and spirituality and being on this like righteous path is it's like, am I no longer allowed to have pleasure? Like that's the thing. That's exactly what it is. That's the thing that's hard about this is it's like, I'm a Taurus. Oh my God. Tauruses love pleasure. We love comfort. We love stuffing our face, like we love the pleasure. We love the creature comforts. But after awakening, it just feels bad. And I'm like, shit, do I not get to have fun anymore? But maybe I just have to find new fun. And I do, like when I'm meditating with a friend or when I'm enjoying nature or when I'm just being happy with my dog. I have become the most wholesome person with my dog. I mean, I literally, I coddle that boy and kiss every inch of him and I hold him and I caress him and, I'll bring him in the car just to like if I can't bring him to the park, I bring him to the park for a couple of hours. If I can't get to the park, I bring him in the car, I gallivant him around the neighborhood so he could look out the window. He loves looking out the window and smelling the squirrels and smelling the grass. So I gallivant him around the town. I chauffeur him around. I'm like driving Miss Daisy. I'm like driving this dog around town so that he could breathe the fresh air and enjoy the nature. Like, this is what I do now. Way different than me in my 20s and early 30s, Life, man, it's just humanity, being a human. If you're on the journey of evolving and growing and changing and becoming what your soul is meant to be, it's a pretty amazing journey. Not easy, but it is really amazing. And I will say that when I'm connecting to the magic in life and when my mind, body, and soul is aligned, just even a breeze can make me happy. Just the sun on my face literally can make me happy. Whereas like before that, I needed like things and food and excitement and adrenaline. That creeps its little head in, because I'm a human and I'm still on this journey. But being, more enlightened, those little things truly bring me happiness, hanging with a friend, hanging with a family member, walking my dog, listening to some 90s rock. Those little things truly bring me joy and happiness. And I think a lot of you want to get to that. And I think that's the purpose of enlightenment. And I think that's why people do. I think awakening also is, and we'll get to that, I think, in the next episode. I think we'll talk more about awakening then. Yeah, awakening is your soul just being a little more aggressive, It's being a little more like, hey, we got to do this. We got to get in alignment. But we'll talk about that more later. So yeah. And your soul, I think the way that you can get into your mind, body, and soul alignment is this. Body, you got to lessen the sugar and the carbs. Like literally, the food you put in your body is the gasoline for your whole system. It is so important. I can't stress that enough. The food. Then I'm hearing about exercise. Oh, God. I hate exercise. I really don't like it. I go for my walks. Me and my dog walk for miles every about 4 days a week. like before readings or after readings. I just take him out for a couple of hours. We go to the park. We go to the lake. When I'm in California, we're hiking. We're all over the place. That's super important. That's exercise that I can get into. I don't like running. I see people running. I'm like, where are you going? That looks awful. They're just running. And I'm just like, yeah, I understand that they're going to, it's good for them. I don't like it. I don't like that, like the pressure it puts on my knees and you need like the right sneakers and you're sweating, the sweat's going in your eyes and no, I'm out of breath. No. I'm not running. That's my friend keeps suggesting it to me. I'm like, no, it's not happening. I'm not doing it. I'm not buckling up my shoes and like hitting the streets. Like, not happening. I'm not doing it. I don't want to live forever. I'm good. I want to live a nice, healthy life. That's what I always say. I'm not here to live forever. Like I see all this technology. They're like, we're going to double your lifespan. No, double my dog's lifespan. I don't need to be here to be 150 years old. Like, are you kidding me? Paying health insurance for 150? No. I'm sorry. Every year, the insurance company wants more money from me? No. Car insurance, this, that. No. I'm doing that for 150 years. I'm good. Please. I love the trees, but I'm excited. The universe and the afterlife, and it's not the afterlife, it's continued life. That excites me too. Just let me be here for my dog. You want to double his life, great. But no. So these runners, I guess it's great because, yeah, you live a healthy life. While I'm here on Earth, I do want to live a healthy life. So I do have to, I'm definitely going to fix the diet. And I got some little, what are they, dumbbells? I got some dumbbells. Why do they call them dumbbells? They are pretty dumb, I guess. That you feel dumb doing them. That's the thing, too. It's so oh, my God. It's like I've joined the gym before. I've done the whole thing. It's like every day? Or if I got to do this for the rest of my life? Those people who, love working out, God bless you. I mean, more power to you. Just in the gym, pushing the weights, it's kind of funky. I feel like if they can give me the body first and I had to maintain it, I think that would be better, but I can't get into having to get the body. Oh, it's like a torture, honestly. It really is. It's really like a torture to me working out. And I'm so distracted. I'm looking at hot guys, looking on my phone, playing them. I just can't. Oh, my God. And when I used to work out, this is how long ago I used to join the gym. I had the earphones with the wire and the thing, and it would rip it out of my ear, and I would get so upset. No. And the smell, I cannot take it. I do not like a humid environment either. And I feel like gyms are always so humid, I'm not into a humid environment. No, get it out of here. Oh, I joined the gym in LA, and I went into I had to you got to put your stuff, you got to put your shit in a locker. So I went to the locker, and it was in the locker room. The smell and the breathing of oh my God, they had the showers. It was one of those, they had the showers in the locker room. Oh, I cannot. I don't like humidity and dirt together. It's not a vibe. So yeah, needless to say, I'm not really a worker outer, but when I do get into something and I get on that tear, you bet your ass I'm going to be good at it. So everyone's telling me yoga, do yoga more. I haven't got into yoga. I know a lot of people who do yoga, and I know the yogis, that community, but I've tried it once. I'm not flexible. I did Pilates once. I thought I was going to die on the machine. I was like, I'm not flexible. I'm not really a flexible lad, I'm not really, flexibility's never been my thing. Typical Taurus, right? Flexibility. My personality is not flexible, and my legs aren't flexible. I would say I'm easygoing though, but as a Taurus, like when I know something, I know it because I've thought about every single angle. I've thought about it all. So I know what I know. So, but you got to always be willing to learn. That's that Aquarius rising too. The Aquarius rising loves to learn. So yeah, you got to align that. So that's and then your mind. So you heal the body through the food and working out if you can get into it. Some kind of exercise. Just keep your body moving. You definitely don't want to just be still. And then your soul, I think through meditation, through kind acts. I think when you're doing good for other people, you feel good. So I think that's really great for your soul. I think your soul, your energy that comes from the creator literally just wants to do good. You know, I think even like awful people, like killers and stuff, like even their soul wanted to do good, but something went wrong with their body or their mind. You know, something happened there. Their soul, I don't believe their soul was naturally evil. I think that something happened with their body and their mind. Remember, mind being environment or like maybe abuse, or their body, something's messed up in their DNA, you know? But their soul, I don't think any soul comes onto earth as like evil. I don't believe that. So, but like I said, I do believe evil exists, but I think that's a mind-body thing. I think something happens to those humans that turns them that way or makes them really bad. I was thinking about deja vu and soulmates the other day too, because deja vu, I believe, is like super real. Like I really truly believe deja vu is something. You know, you have your science people who are like, nope. Because I asked Charlie, I said, what is deja vu? Like what would science explain it as? And they said, I'll read it here so I get it right. They say that it's your brain misfiring and mistakenly flags a current experience as a memory. So they're saying it's your brain misfiring and that it's a current experience. I don't really believe that. You know, I think that is science again, because if science doesn't understand something, they right away say it's broken or a mistake happened. So, it's your brain, but they haven't proved it yet that your brain misfires, quote unquote. I don't believe that. I like to go the other way. It's like, wait, why don't you think, maybe you're just experiencing another timeline. Maybe you're experiencing, because they say like time is linear or something like that. You know, like it's not like there's many different timelines happening. So maybe you're either stepping into the right timeline or you're stepping into a timeline and you're feeling like you've been there before, but you have experienced it, your soul, like astral projection, all that stuff. I think it's that. That's what I think deja vu is. I don't think it's just your brain misfiring. Let's move on to our manifesting moment, okay? Every week we'll just take a minute or two to just sit with ourselves, our thoughts, and just manifest something we want to manifest for the week. And I think this week what we can do is let's manifest our light, our alignment, and our connection to the universe. This week, let's focus on your light, your being, your alignment, your body, mind, and soul, and connecting to the universe. So take a moment. We're going to just close our eyes. We'll sit with ourselves. Obviously, if you're driving or doing something like walking in the street, don't close your eyes. But just take a moment to just sit, think about the light. Think about your light. I always like to picture light coming out of my head or my third eye or entering your body. And picture alignment. Picture yourself being aligned. Your mind, your body, your soul, all as one. Picture it working together like a well-oiled machine. And throughout this week, just keep saying, I am light. I am light. I am white light. I am an energetic being. And the universe is working with me and for me because the universe, my creator, God, whatever it is you identify it as, loves me and wants me to experience great things. Thank you. I love that. It always just feels nice, right? When you just really connect to yourself. So the final thought today, every week I'm just going to write a final thought and just deliver it to you. Alignment is not permanent. It's not something that is constant. It's something that will come and go, something to be strived for, Don't punish yourself when you're not in it, for that is its nature. You can't strive for something that is always there. You can't reach for something that never leaves. So when you're out of alignment, remember that you are actually already at the point that you were meant to be at. And you will work towards getting into that alignment because that's part of the purpose we're here on earth. So be easy on yourselves. Give yourself grace. Love your parents. Connect to the universe. Be the light. And watch things feel and go so much better. Thank you guys for being here again. Thank you for joining us and being on this journey. Remember to follow all the socials. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Taurus55. All the Crusty Crystal videos will be up there. Definitely download on Spotify. There's videos on the Crusty Crystal episodes are on Spotify as well. And you can download just audio on Apple Podcasts, Crusty Crystals. Thank you for being here. Check us out on Instagram, ThomasDale5. We also have the Crusty Crystals podcast Instagram going. And TikTok, we are ThomasDale555 and Crusty Crystals Pod on TikTok. And check out Florid Media, my buddy Jay, doing great stuff here at the studio. Thank you again. We will see you next week.